What's up everybody, Michael here. I help people master their life. In this video I'm going to talk about time, how to time travel, and where does time really exist. Stay tuned. Time. You ever think about time, where it comes from? You ever wonder that if you never even heard about it or ever saw a watch or a clock, if you actually would even perceive what time is? Is time something that's been learned to us and programmed to us since the beginning of time? Possibly. Time can be used to control. Time can be used to put fear into people. Time can be used for a lot of things. In my yoga practice this morning, I had an experience, which is why I'm making this video. And in the experience, I almost felt like I time traveled. I feel like I traveled back in time. Because during my experience, I do something called Ashtanga yoga. And it's a very deep yoga practice. It's a very strict and structured practice. So I do the same moves every single time I practice, and you deepen those postures until you move on to learn new ones. And in this, it's a 5 breath count for every single posture that I do. And in this one moment, in the beginning of my sun salutations A and B, I realized that I wanted to commit this practice to fully focusing on my breath, even deeper than I normally do. And in this, I had one single repetition of a sun salutation where I focused on my breath from like my heart center. And this is the first time that I actually had this channel come through me and this feeling and understanding of the difference between my heart and the mind and how the two things perceive time. And I realized this one very important thing. Time does not exist in the heart. Time exists in the mind. And if we live our life through our hearts, life becomes a very long, beautiful journey, and time dissipates. Time is something that you check in with every now and then just to coexist in the world. But it's not something that we live our life by. And in this moment, I felt this one sun salutation. It felt like it lasted almost an entire yoga practice in itself. Just for an understanding of, for me to use words so you understand what I'm trying to say. So in this moment, it was just a split moment of feeling and opening to a perception. I realized that time lies 100% within the mind. And this is why time is displayed everywhere, and schools are so structured on time, and everything is time, race. It puts us into our mind. It takes us out of our flow state. It takes us out of our heart space. And it's very important that we understand this, because we can actually use time as a tool to coexist and create and use it as part of the modern world, yes. But if you think about it, if you removed yourself out of the modern world, would you need to even ever know what time it was? Because the only thing that would truly exist is the present moment and what you're doing. And yes, you know you have to maybe do some things like, hey, later on I'm going to have to let my dog out. But realistically, it's not like time the way that we construct it, clock, 9 to 5, work hours, all this type of stuff really starts to dissipate. When we move into our heart center, it's also very healing with how we perceive time. Because a lot of people are running late all the time and we feel rushed. It's because you're living in the mind. It's because we're living in the mind. I used to feel rushed, completely out of sorts, could never control myself, and I realized that time was never under my belt. It was always loose and scattered, and I never had control over it. And I realized part of the anxiety and the depression I was going through at the time, it was all focusing in my mind and my time. Because my mind was so scattered, my time was so scattered. But if we live our life through our heart space, not only can we time travel in moments, when you catch yourself sitting out by a tree listening to the birds, and it will feel like an entire moment, an entire lifetime inside of a moment. And you start to notice the very small things in life. I woke up this morning and I was sunbathing with my wife, and we said that things could get clearer this morning. It's almost like we felt like we stepped into like a different place today. And I've been feeling this for the past couple days, and I realized that it's part of the the energy that's going on this month with the moons and the cycles, and I'm starting to tap into some things within myself. So therefore, my outer reality is changing once again. And I realize that I'm just really starting to notice the sun rays coming through the windows and the way the sun hits the grass and the trees, and everything seems a little bit more clear. And my perception to nature is starting to change again, and my perception to my dogs are starting to change again. And then it carried into my yoga experience, and I realized what it is currently is an expansion and a contraction in my heart space relating to my mind, and time is a huge part of the construct that is starting to dissolve on a deeper layer within myself. I'm starting to let go of these things of having to get things done at a particular time or doing these things a particular way. Because the flow state within each and every one of us, there is no construct to abide by, because we are all so vastly unique. We are God's creative energy coming through and expressing itself. So how can we all be the same? The reason that we're so different is because it's showing us God's creation's magnificence and beauty of intelligence and divine light coming through to express itself in different ways. But when we live in the mind, when we live within time, when we live in time, because time is a construct made by man to put us into boxes and control and narrower perceptions of our life. So let this be some sort of encouragement, something to ponder. I would love to hear what you think about it. Give me a like and a comment and a subscribe. Let me know what you think about time. Have you ever experienced a time traveling kind of thing that happens in your life where you just kind of shift into this state of being just for a few moments, and you come back out of it and you have a grand feeling inside yourself, just like you came back from a vacation? Imagine living your whole day like that. That's something that I really try to do in my life, and I realize you can actually get a lot done in that space because it's coming from a very authentic place. So let me know what you think. Give me a subscribe, give me a like. I got more stuff coming, but remember, you can time travel within your heart. Remember, the mind comes from the impulses of the heart. Let the heart control the mind. If we skip the heart and we exist in the mind, we are going to be controlled by time. We're going to be controlled by consumerism. We're going to be controlled by all these different things that take us away from who we truly are. I love you, be well, and have a great day.